Money laundering and terrorist financing in the global economy. Every day, billions of financial transactions take place around the world. These transactions are integral to preserving a healthy economy. Within this flow of legitimate commerce are illicit transactions that threaten to undermine the stability of the entire financial system. Money laundering takes place within our everyday world of routine business transactions. Criminals around the globe use money laundering to mask the origin of their funds, making the crimes themselves very difficult to detect. There are many techniques for laundering funds, but most involve three stages: placement, layering, and integration. Placement involves placing the proceeds of crime within the legitimate financial system. Layering involves converting the proceeds of crime into another form and creating complex layers of financial transactions to obscure the money trail. For example, a criminal might borrow against a cash deposit to get a mortgage, creating a transaction that is one layer away from the original deposit. Integration involves placing the laundered proceeds back in the economy under a veil of legitimacy. The criminal could use the mortgage to buy a house, putting the illegal proceeds back into the legitimate economy. Terrorist financing uses techniques similar to those of money launderers to evade authorities and cloud the money trail. Terrorist funding may involve funds from legitimate or criminal sources. Regardless of the origin of their money, terrorist financiers often work within the formal banking system to move funds to their final destination. Criminals involved in money laundering and terrorist financing do whatever it takes to obscure the money trail. By blending their illicit funds within the traditional financial system, even a simple transaction can unknowingly be linked to part of a long-standing criminal infrastructure. Money laundering and terrorist financing cause serious harm. Money laundering is not a victimless crime. Criminals conduct any manner of crimes to generate money: drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, fraud, theft, kidnapping, extortion, Ponzi schemes, and market manipulation. But the proceeds of these crimes are only of value to criminals if they can convince the public that their funds are legitimate. By enabling criminals to mask the proceeds of their crimes, money laundering facilitates future corruption and causes severe harm to social stability and security. The scope of laundered criminal proceeds is estimated in billions of dollars worldwide. Money laundering has the power to destabilize the economies of susceptible countries and compromise the integrity of the legitimate global financial system by blending illicit funds into the world's economy. As long as money laundering is feasible to criminals, it will continue to play a significant role in perpetuating crime. It encourages criminals to commit the acts that produce illicit proceeds and gives organized crime the funds it needs to conduct further criminal activities, including terrorist acts. It is vital to our global security and stability that we put a stop to the flow of illegitimate assets. The value of financial intelligence. Money laundering and terrorist financing are serious offenses that can take years to investigate and prosecute successfully. Criminals will take any means necessary to obscure the money trail, leading back to the underlying crime. We must take action to identify those means and track criminal activity in our midst. Financial intelligence is essential to identifying suspicious transactions and putting a stop to the illegal cash flow. And it begins with you. One simple transaction can be linked to an intricate web of criminal activity. By filing a suspicious transaction or suspicious activity report, your contribution can mean the difference between apprehending dangerous criminals and letting them run free to corrupt the global financial system and harm innocent people. Reporting suspicious transactions is your legal responsibility. In doing so, you play a fundamental role in helping authorities track the money trail faster and more effectively, allowing them to close in on those responsible for money laundering and terrorist financing. Financial intelligence units and the Egmont Group. All countries are required to have a financial intelligence unit, which is mandated to receive and analyze suspicious transactions or suspicious activity reports and disclose them to law enforcement and other authorities. When you file a suspicious transaction or suspicious activity report, your financial intelligence unit will ensure your anonymity and conduct further analysis to confirm suspicion. Each unit looks into links to develop financial intelligence. By following the money trail, financial intelligence units can help law enforcement agencies investigate and eventually prosecute the perpetrators of the original crimes. Because of the nature and scope of these crimes, financial intelligence units must work with their international counterparts to stay ahead of money launderers and terrorist financiers. Your country's FIU is part of a worldwide network of financial intelligence units known as the Egmont Group. Established in 1995, Egmont promotes international cooperation between FIUs and facilitates regular communication, knowledge exchange, and training among its members. Through Egmont, hundreds of FIUs come together to build global financial intelligence, drawing on pieces of information that originate from an individual source: you. Your role in fighting crime, filing suspicious transaction and suspicious activity reports. As someone who handles financial transactions every day, you are in a unique position to help put an end to money laundering and terrorist financing. It is critical that you report suspicious transactions as they enter the legitimate financial system. Filing a single suspicious transaction or suspicious activity report with the proper authorities has the potential to disrupt criminal and terrorist activity, which in turn helps prevent future crimes. You have the power and the obligation to report suspicion of money laundering and terrorist activity financing. Your financial intelligence unit will ensure that your anonymity is protected, but it is vital that you take steps toward reporting any suspicions. One simple but significant action can pull the plug on the criminal network, protecting potential victims from future crime and ensuring the integrity of our global economy.